Hello, and you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you can download podcasts. Like, comment, and subscribe. You could also follow us on our Instagram at YSGoat, Facebook at YSGoat, and at Twitter, YSGoat. Thank you. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that.
All right, well, this week we're going to talk about everyone's favorite American Tail.
Yes, Little Fievel.
Little Fievel. Fievel Goes Psycho.
Yeah, American Psycho.
American Psycho, yeah, starring Fievel.
No,
that never got made. That was, you could probably find it online. There's a script for it, I'm sure, somewhere.
Little treatment.
Somewhere out there. I'm going to cut your head off and eat it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, American Psycho, which is, it's a crazy movie.
Yeah, I mean, when it came out almost 20 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, now, I still say it lives up. It lives up to it. But before we get into that, we got some pressing issues to talk about. Real important stuff. Yeah. Spider-Man is back in the Marvel Universe.
Which is fantastic news.
Fantastic Four? Is it gonna be
I think
not yet. You're going to have to wait.
Right. Yeah, Spider-Man. Now, this news came out like a week ago, right?
Yeah, we're behind. And by the time you hear this, it'll be real news. You'll be like, what are all these guys talking about? Yeah, you know what? Who cares? It's Spider-Man.
Well, we actually put something on our Instagram, which you can follow it at YSGOAT.
YSGoat.
YSGoat. And it got like a decent, people were genuinely happy because I think we just stumbled across the news as it was happening.
We talked about this before in a previous episode. We gave it a good chunk. We spent some time. And one of the comments I said was like how there was this whole group of people that were claiming that they were happy that Spider-Man was not part of the MCU anymore and that this was a good thing. Fuck Disney. Fuck, and I was like, okay, I don't care about any of that. I just want a good Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Spider-Man movie no matter what.
Right.
But I want it to be a fun one that takes place in the stuff I already like as well. And I thought it was a horrendous idea.
Yep.
Clearly Sony saw that it was a horrendous idea.
Yes.
I think the deal was... supposedly the deal now is that Disney, I guess, gets 25% as opposed to what they originally wanted, which was like 50%. And I think Sony they're like, okay, you can use Spider-Man in the Marvel, but we want to use Spider-Man in our Sony movies.
Okay.
So that means Tom Holland's gonna be a busy boy.
Right.
He's gonna be like, you're gonna be paying me more now, guys.
Yeah. We call it the Tom Holland full employment project.
Yeah, he's gonna be working until he's 60.
Yeah. Spider-Man's senior man.
He, they'll get their Spider-Man Venom movie. They'll get their Spider-Man whatever the hell they had planned. And you know what's funny? There was this list of movies. I don't know if you saw. I think you saw this.
Oh,
that Sony put out. This happened like literally the day before.
Right.
They announced that he was coming back to Marvel, and I almost think like that triggered this heinous list of movies.
Yeah.
Like that
Spider Witch or something.
It was just kind of. Okay, so you have like Venom 2. Makes sense. Venom 1 was very popular. Venom 2 is going to make a ton of money. Carnage is going to be in it. That's their one surefire hit.
Sure.
They got a Morbius movie coming out, which I'm just like,
yeah, whatever.
I don't think that's going to... I could be wrong, but... No, that movie's going to be a...
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did they have? Then they had like Jackpot... irrelevant character in the comic books. Jackpot was this character that was introduced in the comics a couple years ago that was kind of like a red herring or like a switcheroo type thing where everyone thought it was going to be Mary Jane and she became a superhero called Jackpot. That makes sense because she said a line to Spider-Man when she first meets Peter Parker. She says, "You hit the jackpot." Yeah. Which she's implying that she's a hottie.
Right.
You hit the jackpot. Or maybe, I don't know. So that's what they were implying. But so she was a superhero, but it wasn't her. It was some other character, and so it had nothing to do with Spider-Man really in the end, and the character went off to the ether.
Right.
No one gave a shit. It got totally written out. I don't think Jackpot has appeared in any Spider-Man comics in the past, 8 years.
Yeah.
And this was on the list of movies And I'm like, okay, they're smoking crack.
Yeah.
And then my favorite one on the list was Madam Web.
That was it.
So Madam Web is...
or something?
Yes, yeah. Close enough. Madam Web is like is not even really a character. She's like it's almost like she's an archetype of like a wizard. She's like a guide. She's someone that creates a plot. She's a plot device character.
Oh, okay,
you can't make a movie around a character that is not like whose main goal is just to send the hero on an adventure.
Right. You need
I guess I'll send myself on an adventure.
Right. You need a protagonist.
Like she literally can't do anything. She's like blind, first of all, and she sits on like a thing.
Like a toadstool?
I guess. Yeah, she's the caterpillar from Wizard.
Does she have a hookah?
Yeah. But she's like, it's like not even like it drove me nuts. I was like, this is a joke. There was like a list of characters, and I was like, okay, Black Cat, and I could see that.
Oh, yeah, Black Cat would be a great one.
Sure. Yeah. But get the fuck, Madam Web,
right.
Get the fuck out, Jackpot, get the fuck, like, no. And so once this list came out, and then, no joke, the next day, Sony and Marvel like made up and I'm like, that had to have been it. Disney must have been like, no, you're not making these fucking movies or something. Like people were like trashing that list. They're like, this is a joke, right? Yeah. And there were some people who were like trying to like defend, like, oh no, Madam Web could be a good movie. And I'm like,
I mean, sure, yes, it could be a good movie.
Yes, it could.
Right. Glenn Close is Madam Web.
Yeah, Glenn Close.
Well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, it's so bad.
At the end of the day, I think most people kind of agree with the sentiment you expressed. You just want a good movie. The Spider-Man movies that Marvel has turned out lately with Holland have been really good movies.
I mean, like the one critique of the last movie is everything is like it's heavily Iron Man related.
Sure.
His stuff, but the way it ended, spoilers. It definitely opened up the world that this was going to be now Spider-Man, and like J. Jonah Jameson was in the cut scene, and it opened up all these different things. So it was like, okay, we know now in the next movie this is going to be more like the Spider-Man world, but still keeping part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And like I said, some of the people who didn't care, they didn't even care about the character of the movie. So. Right. Okay, well, guess what? You know what? I don't like the Fast and Furious movies, but you know what? I kind of just shut the fuck up about them.
Yeah, right.
Because I don't like them. And I don't care. I have no interest in them. But guess what? I'm not going to talk shit about them or say, like, I hope that, like, The Rock's feud with Diesel Man.
Yeah.
I think they had a feud. I don't know. Or I hope the family stays. I don't know. There's a family, right?
I don't know.
They live their life by a quarter inch in a mile or something like that? Or
I saw the first one... And I think I saw another one that was like hilarious. I mean, it was like over the top.
Was it the one where they went to Tokyo Drift?
No, it wasn't that one. I think they were in
space.
I think they were in the Middle East.
They better be in space, Aaron.
I think it was. There was like I think it was in Abu Dhabi or whatever. And there was like a car in one skyscraper drove through a window, and then arced like 50 stories.
This is totally where,
the
first movie is just about street racers and, just kind of like making cars souping up the engines.
Right.
And like a cop, like kind of investigating. So this makes sense. I could see the evolution of them becoming like secret agents. And,
right.
So I think I'm fine with them going to space.
Yeah.
But then again, who cares? I don't care a fuck about these movies. I don't care, but I'm not going to sit there and say some dumb shit like, oh, I hope they fail. Fuck you. Because you know what? Listen, you guys can enjoy your garbage.
Yeah. I hope exactly. Look, I hope they make a lot of money.
I mean, I don't care if they do or don't.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah,
sure.
I want the fans to be happy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like shit on them. They all have special needs, and I hope that
right. Yes. Well, since we're dogpiling, I will say if they ever do like a Fast and Furious 29. Weekend at Paul Walker's, then maybe Paul
Walker's been dead for a while.
Like a Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that would be tasteless.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
it's okay. We got Paul Walker's brother to do it. It's okay.
Yeah.
CGI'd his face on there, but like I said, like it was like all the people that were talking shit and saying all this crap that they're like good. They didn't even care about. They don't even like Marvel movies. They don't even like. They don't like superhero movies. They think they're above it. So okay, that's fine.
Right.
But just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well, this is the best of both
I don't know
worlds.
anything about Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
I know they're British.
Right.
I'm not going to shit on it.
Have you ever tried to watch that show?
No. You know why?
Why?
Because I don't want to.
Well, Amanda and I tried to watch it. My wife and I tried to watch it once.
Your wife.
Yes. And we were all primed for it. We were like going into it with the best of intentions, and we made it like 15 minutes into the first episode and just couldn't do
guess.
it.
They're rich people, but then they focus on the serving class.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah.
And it's like you see their struggles, but
I couldn't even tell you. I think that's what the blurb said. I'm like, I was like 15 minutes into it, and the pacing was glacial.
The way with climate change and everything,
right?
That term glacial might actually change, like the
swiftly
moving glaciers. That might be a compliment. This movie is glacial. Oh shit, that movie's fast as fuck.
Yeah, that's the new
Fast and Furious. Glacial. Glacial. It sounds
glacial drift.
Facial.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
glacial.
Spider-Man's back, and that's real good news.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's one for one movie. I have a feeling that every time there's going to be a movie, there's going to be a
negotiation afterwards.
But you know what? It's like fine.
Whatever.
I think it was a smart move on Snow. If that's the case, where they get him, where they're like, listen, we want Spider-Man. Even if he's in the movie for like 30 seconds, that validates those movies. That elevates their movies now. They feel like they're part of the Marvel universe, even though they're not going to be really. And that's fine. That's what fans want. Back in the day with the comics.
Yeah.
They would have Spider-Man pop up in the comic for even just like one page.
Right.
It was enough to get a sucker to buy the book.
Yeah. That's why I watched The Electric Company back in the day. Right?
Not for the education.
No, Spider-Man showed up for like 30 seconds each
back in the 90s, they would have like Wolverine in like every comic.
Yeah, I do.
He would show up for like a minute.
Yeah.
You'd be like in 2 pages, but guess what? You just bought a copy of Dark Horse, you moron.
Right.
Sucker's born every day. You just bought a copy of Sleepwalkers 16 because Wolverine took a shit in the comic and left. That's what they did back then.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to take to get people, hey man, Spider-Man shows up he's in a newspaper clipping in the background.
Well, I could 100% see that. And that probably would be a good way to get Holland to appear in multiple movies. He does some incidental
and like you said,
stuff.
It's like a workers program for him.
Yeah.
He's going to be employed forever.
Exactly.
It's like the military industrial complex. It's really just a job
like
program.
Johnson's Great Works program, but all specific to him. Like
just Tom Holland.
Yeah.
I don't know. He does have that cartoon coming out where he's like Will Smith's turns into a pigeon.
A what? I have not heard of this at all.
I've seen the previews for this. I don't even know what the name of the movie is. It looks horrible. It comes out.
Is it a remake of the pigeons from Animaniacs?
No.
Okay.
Nothing to do with it.
Will Smith.
I know. Yeah. No, Will Smith is a super spy, and he turns. And you think the whole movie, and I'm like watching it, I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool. It's like James Bond.
Sure.
Clearly the CGI looks like Will Smith. This might be fun.
Yeah.
But that's not what the movie's about. He accidentally Tom Holland's like a young scientist.
Okay.
And he's the cartoon too.
Sure.
As opposed to being a cartoon in like Infinity War.
Well,
he's a cartoon.
Yes.
He's like a realistic cartoon
right.
for this time of the time. And he takes like a serum and accidentally turns into a pigeon.
A pigeon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
so
a bold
Will Smith's
choice.
a pigeon. And that's like the movie. So, yeah, probably not going to see
That's going to be a Netflix for me.
Well, if my son really wants to go see it, I got to get him out of the house or something.
Right.
Sure, I could use a good nap.
Yeah. Right, yeah. No, I follow you.
If he... Yeah. That's...
Yeah. Well, there's other big... Do we have more... Because we have one other big piece of current pop culture stuff.
All right, so in Rob Israel news,
yes.
me,
right?
I'm going to talk trash about me now.
This fucker.
It's dog pile. Yeah, so I'm going to Mad Magazine number 10.
Yep.
If it came out, and if you guys opened it up, you'd see I did the table of contents artwork.
Yeah.
It's a double spread.
Well, and it's all their characters.
All that, yeah, in my style.
Right.
All monstered up and everything. So that was a big one. So that was a good opportunity. So that was cool. So if you're at the comic store or wherever they're selling Mad or get a subscription, you probably saw it already. I've had people on like Twitter and on Instagram repost it, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
It's my favorite superstar artist, Rob Israel.
You put
thanks, Mom. Mom would never do that. What am I getting?
Mom, get out of my room!
I used that Man magazine again? That folding? Al Jaffe folding? Mom!
You posted some images of it on your Instagram.
Yeah.
And you did the kind of the as you were drawing it, and then the big piece.
Yeah.
And then you did a close up. My favorite part of the whole thing. The whole thing's amazing, but my favorite part is the spy versus spy.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot of compliments.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah.
It's really cool looking. And those are just I always
they're cool looking characters to begin with.
Yeah. They're kind of like mysterious, but also like funny, but
they got beaks, but they're not.
Yeah.
They have mouths.
Right.
Know. Yeah.
But they're just classic, you know.
And then I did something for Disenchantment.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Season 2 is out. So they did this like cool like they do it like every time there's a new season fan art program, and they contacted me and a couple other artists, and we had to do a day. So if you follow Disenchantment on social media, you probably saw it. Mine was day 3, Gluttony.
Yes.
So I had this like image of the character Bean, who's the main star, and she's eating. They're all eating, but they're kind of eating each other.
Yeah, right.
The one's eating like a hoagie in the end. But the cool thing about that was the star of Bean herself,
right.
Abby Jacobson. She's famous for Broad City.
Yeah.
And she has other projects.
Yeah, legit actress. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
She posted something on her Instagram, and it was kind of cool because she posted like clips, but then she talked about the fan art and she posted mine. So I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. So yeah, enough about me.
Well, no, those are real big things.
Yeah.
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 So
I'm gonna go on my private jet now.
Right.
Hang out with Will Smith Pigeon because I'm a famous superstar now. Hanging out with. I don't get to hang out with Will Smith. I get to hang out with the pigeon.
Well, now that you're a famous superstar, will you be hanging out with your good
former
buddy?
presidents?
Right.
Former war criminals?
Exactly. Well,
shoot. Former war. The funny thing you bring that up.
Yes.
So years ago, there's this place. I shouldn't name it. Probably not a good idea.
Okay.
It's a sandwich place. It's a sandwich place near us. And the funny thing, well, it's not funny. They closed down.
Okay.
But I remember they opened up, and like a month later, I guess supposedly George W. Bush showed up there.
Oh, okay.
He lives near us.
Yes, right. My suspicion is that I would not.
We could bump into him. That's not a joke.
Down at the liquor store.
Yeah. I thought you were an alcoholic.
Right.
Don't tell Laura. Daddy likes his
gin.
Daddy likes his gin. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right.
I'm doing bumps. So, yeah, I remember there was a sandwich place, and George W. Bush supposedly was there.
No, geez.
And I was like, and it's not far from where we lived. I was
Right.
like, fuck, I wish I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I think he is still, and I'll say this again,
right.
He is the worst president in modern history. I know people say Trump is.
Sure.
Trump is horrible. Trump is the worst, but he's also our current worst president.
Right.
The goal is to make sure he doesn't get 2 terms. The goal is to get rid of him. Hopefully, if we're lucky, he doesn't even make it out of this first term.
Right.
George W. Bush, though, we had him for 8 years.
Yeah.
And
that was relentless.
8 horrible years. He was the worst president. I could go. We'll get into that in a second. So I wish I got to see him there.
Right.
So I could go up to him, shake his hand, and maybe just whisper something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jet fuel won't melt our friendship, George W.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I have all these grand ideas.
You would just fawn at him like a star.
Oh, I know
right?
I wouldn't do that.
You'd be like, oh my god, it's a president.
Right. I don't think that's what I would do. I don't know.
Well, he does have Secret Service, and he is a human still.
Okay, so yeah,
there are laws.
So Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay, speaking of famous, real famous people.
Right. Yeah, legit famous.
Famous people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you know who I am? I did the fan art for Disenchantment.
I was day 3.
Gluttony.
Well, Ellen DeGeneres,
who is legitimately famous, has a show.
Very famous.
Very famous. She had a show called Ellen, too, which was like a Seinfeld ripoff.
Right. Yes.
She's been around forever. Yeah. Who is a lesbian.
Yep.
It's not a.
It's
not a secret.
Part of her persona.
Yeah, it's part of her persona. Yeah, she walks out. She's like, "Hello, everyone."
Yeah, I mean, obviously, she. I don't mean that she's a.
She made her show in the '90s. Like that was the big thing.
Yes,
she made her character.
Right.
She came out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She was very.
She like risked her career. Yeah. She did. There were people who were like, "Oh, that wasn't a big deal." I'm like, no, it was a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it was.
She risked her career, and she was like on hold, but then she got that show.
Yes.
And she became kind of just like a milquetoast, easy, kind of like a Leno.
Yeah, she was type. Like a cross between Leno and Oprah.
Yeah. The whole thing is like she dances. And she's had George W. on the show.
Yeah.
And they danced. And so there was this video that got out of Ellen with George W. Bush sitting in a luxury box. In where was this?
It's at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas.
Jerry World or whatever.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is, and I think Jerry Jones was also in.
Have you ever been there?
Yes.
I went to Monster Jam once.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It is huge. It is insane how big that is.
I don't like seeing events there simply because it feels like I'm in a department store watching TV.
Insane how big it is.
Right.
So she's there and she's having a good old time with him. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If it was left, I'll say this. I honestly have no problem with that. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
If it was just left that way.
Right.
And I'm not going to defend.
Sure.
I'm just saying, if it was just left that way, the people wouldn't have said anything. People would have said stuff and it would have gotten around. And be like, oh, that's great.
Off, yeah.
It would have died off. But
like a third of Iraq's population.
Yeah, like a third. Yeah. But hey, don't let those facts get in the way of Ellen DeGeneres' good time.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Or Katrina.
Yeah. Or Katrina.
Or the fact, don't let her good time get in the way of the fact that she sat next to a guy who literally ran a re-election campaign.
Yeah.
Where he said that he would make gay marriage unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. We're in 2019. This is 15 years ago.
Yeah, easy to forget.
It's easy to forget. And a lot of people who are like 30 or younger, they probably really don't. They just know George W. Bush as that funny old man now who makes shitty paintings.
An artist. Yeah.
He's an artist. The artist. He's like some Grandma Moses.
He's like the Happy Trees guy.
Yeah, that's what they think he is now. Right. He makes like mediocre paintings.
Yeah.
It's like, for president, that's cool.
He might be the most accomplished artist president.
You mean the former war criminal?
Right.
Known as, it's like supposed to the former artist known as Prince. He's the former war criminal known as.
Yeah.
So she sat next to him and had a great old time. The video got out. Mm-hmm. People said things that anytime George Bush shows up somewhere, yes, criticism should be allowed because he is a war criminal. He should have been impeached.
Well,
he should have been. There's like, listen, I don't know all the details. Maybe you know more, but like Obama could went after him. If he wanted to, like Trump said, like that bullshit, like arrest Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
But Obama literally could have had him arrested. Like there were.
Oh yeah.
Like Dick Cheney is not allowed in certain countries. He can be arrested on the spot.
Yeah.
Like there's countries in Europe.
Oh yeah.
That he cannot go to.
Right. That's 100% true. Yeah, there's a writer on Twitter that I really like, Oliver Willis, and he steadfastly will always say that George W. Bush is the worst president ever, not Trump. the guy hates Trump.
Listen,
too.
Trump has not. I will say this though, this thing right now with the Kurds and everything.
Oh, that's
because I was gonna say Trump hasn't started a war yet.
Right.
Well, knock on some wood or whatever.
Right.
But this thing with the Kurds, which I'm not geopolitics is not like my thing.
Right.
I just know it's not good, and it seems like it all leads back to Putin.
Well, yeah, it's a.
Well, let's get back to Ellen.
Yeah, Ellen.
This is real important,
right?
As opposed to real.
Well, she makes a little video explaining.
She puts a video. It's her show.
Yeah,
and she talks about She basically comes out and she's trying to act like she's not apologizing for it, and her fans want to eat it up. But I think she did a massive disservice to history, to her audience. She tried to like do this whole bullshit, can we all get along type thing.
No, we cannot.
Well, it's not even like it's like we can get along, but maybe not war criminals,
right?
Or maybe you could say, listen, I had a great time with them.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. She could have said this. Let's just get to what she said.
Yeah.
She said, like, well, no one saw that I was holding an iPhone 11. Yuck. You know, that was like a big joke. And then she made some joke about furries or something. Oh, she said, like, she tried to, like, throw it off the scent. Like, well, I don't get along with people. Like, I have friends who like fur. I don't like fur. Yeah. And then she made a furries joke, which I guess furries and Bush being connected just makes it all funny now.
Right. But it's not a joke.
She tried to write off Bush and just say, like, you know, we could have difference of opinions, but we could all get along. And it's like, I can't stand, like, when people say that, and I know when we talked about this before we're talking now, it's easy to say that when you're both, like, super wealthy.
Oh, easily,
or super famous, super wealthy, and you live in a bubble. It's very easy to say things like, oh, hey, guy, you know, and he's not a president anymore. He hasn't been president for 12 years now, or 11 years now, and he doesn't really have he doesn't really have an effect anymore. Well, but he has an effect that will last until we're dead. And he
has a platform. Like, don't tell me that if George W. Bush didn't come out and give a speech on, like, why we were wrong to do all the things, he could do that.
Yeah.
You know, and by just sitting back, he's watching football games on a Sunday. And
drawing pictures of Jay Leno.
Yeah, hand turkeys and shit.
Macaroni art. That Iraqi boy that haunts his dreams.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, as long as you sit back and that's how you're living your life, then fuck you. You know what I mean,
like you're not this like peaceful. You get to retire and live off. And I love that people like try to write him off and say, "Oh well, it was all Dick Cheney." I'm like,
okay, then come out and say that.
Yeah, say it. Just fucking say it. You're right. You know, listen. I'll be honest with you. I think there were some things that I do believe in. I don't believe in gay marriage. He could say that. He could say, you know, as a evangelical, archaic lunatic, I don't believe in this. I don't believe in science. But, you know, I do believe that maybe it was wrong what we did in Iraq. Yeah. And I was going along with what the neocons in my administration told me to do. Right. That's never going to happen.
No. But, like, I don't know. It's disappointing. I mean, like...
He's never gone... The funny thing is, everyone talks about how Trump never apologized for anything. Bush never apologized for anything in the whole entire administration. He was just as repugnant. He just didn't go on Twitter.
Well, right?
That was the only difference.
You have to wonder, like, what... You know, if he's kind of, like, receded into the woodwork because he realizes, like, the catastrophe.
Well, he also... Yeah, I mean, they didn't even... The fucked up thing was, in 2008, when John McCain was running, he was not even invited to the Republican convention. Yeah. That's how toxic he was. He did one little video appearance. Yeah. For like a minute. Said something just because he's the president or whatever. But he wasn't invited there. Yeah. And I've never seen that before. The president, a two-term president, and you're the Republican on the ticket trying to get elected, and you don't even want him there. That's how bad he was. He had like a 33% approval rating, I think, when he left.
It was bad.
Do you remember the Stephen Colbert? It was like one of the best. The press, the thing they do every year.
Oh yeah.
The one that Trump would never attend.
Right.
Ever.
It's not the Foreign Press Association. I know what you're talking about. They do essentially like a roast of sorts. Yeah.
Colbert did it one year.
I remember
and
it was vicious.
Fucking bad. And the thing was that people don't understand was George W. Bush had the luck of having 9/11 happen in Earth.
Oh yeah.
But the fucked up thing was if that happened to Al Gore, there wouldn't be this unification. The Republicans would be pulling him out by his fucking ears and like having him shot on the South Lawn. Yeah. You would have saw Rush Limbaugh saying all kinds of shit about Al Gore. Yeah, true. It would be the exact opposite. But everyone else, like good Americans, we all stood by Bush. I even for like a month, I hated him before that. But like after 9/11, I was like, we gotta stand by him,
Right.
and like, I mean, nothing like this ever happened in our lives. We were like, what the fuck is this?
It was a weird time.
And then 2002, go ahead.
Yeah, well, you had Bush like standing
In the rubble,
right? And people were like, and Hillary Clinton stood next to him.
Well, she was the senator of New York,
and
a former president,
right? And
first lady.
Yeah, Rudy was on his last 30 days of sanity, and he was like,
he was the mayor of the USA. Yeah. He was considered mayor.
Yep, America's mayor.
Yeah.
But Ellen has that same thing where like Kanye with Trump.
Well, Kanye, okay, there's a big difference going on there.
You think?
Yes, I think there's a massive difference. I don't think Ellen is going to go now and start telling people.
Okay, yeah,
Kanye is like literally telling people to vote for Trump. Trump is still the president. He's going to run again.
Oh yeah, that's a fair point.
That's a much. This is just aloofness. This is more like, I think what people need to criticize her about is like, Ellen is not gonna. I don't think Ellen. I don't even care. It doesn't matter. But I don't think she's gonna start voting Republican. She's not gonna vote for Trump.
No.
She's not gonna vote. It's just aloofness.
Yeah,
it's
disappointing.
It's disappointing. It's an aloofness. You know, she tried to like. She could have just said, "Hey, listen. You know, I had a great time with him. I don't agree with him, and you know, but I'm not gonna apologize that I sat next to him."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There could have been other ways to say it, but she tried to just do that namby-pamby bullshit of like, can we all get along? And it's like, listen, I would love to have a conversation with someone, but if the other person's whole existence is to get rid of my existence, then I don't want to talk to you. No, like,
I want to fight. You know, I mean,
I don't want to even be near you. Like, you are a
collaborator. You know, I mean, like you're collaborating with someone who's out to get me.
Right. You're instigating it or propagating it or like aggregate. Everything like. Gay people were probably killed because of Bush running. Gay people were probably beaten.
Yeah.
Gay people probably lost jobs around that time.
Oh, certainly.
Well, and they still do. But I bet you it was intensified. It was all over the news. Well, it was like...
I forget which person's on the Supreme Court that George W. Bush put there.
He put in Scalito and Roberts.
Oh, yeah, John Roberts.
And Scalito.
Scalia or Alito?
Alito. Everyone called him Scalito because he was basically that's the nickname he got. Sorry, Alito.
Alito's trash, but like Roberts, he's still trash, but he's like I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, like Bush put those people on the bench. You know, it's still happening. There's going to be a court
and again, it was stolen. You know. Michael Moore brought up a good point and said that the Supreme Court always represented the changing of the culture.
Yes.
You know, you had what's his face? The first black
Marshall, Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah, who got replaced by another black guy, but it was like the worst person they could find in the universe. It was like a slap in the face of Thurgood Marshall. It was what's his name?
Thomas.
The pubic hair guy.
Yeah.
Pubic hair with cocaine. Yeah. And so everyone said like, you know, Bush election. We could go into this on all of it. They stole the 2000 election. That whole election was stolen. His brother helped steal the election in Florida. Yep. I love that the media and everything. Remember the Chads?
Yeah.
But that was not really what happened.
Right.
It was all the names they crossed off. All the minorities that crossed off. They made it like a big joke. Like, oh, look at all those old Jews in Florida. They don't know what they were doing. They don't know he was a Chad. And I was like, that's not... That, and then I saw this thing. I read up and saw this thing, and it was so much more sinister than that. It was like more like 50,000 people.
It was a lot.
It wasn't them. It was like, and they try to make that into a joke, and then he gets in, and we had like a surplus, and he like created.
Oh yeah.
He just came in lazy as fuck. He was like the laziest president
until
Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, the only difference, the thing is that people they think that like there's that picture that goes around with like. Bush like kind of leaning into Michelle Obama and people were posting that. And you know, you could say, okay, well the difference between Ellen and them is that they were presidents and
it's
it's like transfer of power, it's all that whatever. Pomp and
circumstance.
Yeah. Make it look like we're not like having a civil war or something.
Right.
And whatever. Somebody made someone made like a meme or a picture on Twitter. These guys, the Serfs, posted it.
Okay.
It was Trump leaning into Michelle Obama,
Yeah. Oh,
and like it was like him like that smirk face.
Yeah, yeah.
And they put his face on there, and it said like 2029 or something. Like,
oh man.
But I made a joke and said, because the joke was like, oh, Bush was so nice. He gave Michelle Obama a mint.
Right.
And I said, oh, Trump was so nice. He gave Michelle Obama a mint. Oh wait, no, that's a roofie. Oh no, I don't feel so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's just fucked up because, a good example was the woman from The Good Place.
Oh yeah,
her name is Jamil. I'm probably butchered her name too, but that's
it's in the ballpark.
The words.
Yeah.
She's from The Good Place, which is an awesome show.
Mm-hmm.
She, like you said, she tweeted something like, kind of like, "Oh, that's sweet. Like can we all just get along and let's just move on," you know? And then I guess she got a lot of blowback for that, but unlike where she could be in a bubble, she could still be in a bubble and hang out with her rich friends or whatever. She's not on the same level as Ellen. Ellen's in a different stratosphere. She's like in Letterman. She's like in Letterman, Seinfeld territory, where she's set. She could have stopped working 10 years ago, and she would have been set for life.
Oh, easily.
She basically said like, "Oh shit, you guys are right."
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, she said like, "Listen, she's not an American. She's from England."
Yep.
And she said, we were dealing with our own shitty prime minister when I was in high school at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And we just knew him as the stupid guy from the U.S.
Right. You don't have to know everything, but you got to be open to considering that.
Yeah, I don't know shit about other politicians, but as an American, we just think everyone knows everything about ours.
Yeah.
God, they do, though.
Right,
they know more than we know about theirs. So she said, like, yeah, you're right. He's trash.
Well,
I mean, those aren't our words, but she
she
basically, but that's an important point because it's like you're rewriting history.
Yeah,
there's all these people who are like they have this false nostalgia for Bush.
Well,
because Trump is obnoxious.
Yeah.
But I don't see. I'll say that now. And I know we had that joke with the meme with him. I don't think he can be. He's not going to be a painter in 10 years.
Right, that's true.
I don't think he'll even be alive in 10 years. But regardless, it's like, Nixon, you ever seen that movie, Frost and Nixon?
Oh, yeah, Frost Nixon.
Well, the whole thing was he was trying to do like a comeback tour.
Yeah.
And validate himself in the public and give him like he would be on Dancing with the Stars right now, Nixon, if he could have.
Yeah. Did you ever read Hunter S. Thompson's obituary of Richard Nixon?
No.
It was brutal. It was he wrote an obituary for Nixon after Nixon passed
in '94.
That sounds about right. And he just savaged him. He was just like the guy was a crook, and he said something like he should be buried far at sea, so his corpse never washed ashore.
Well,
so
he was going to be impeached. He was going to be arrested. Yeah. He put in a guy to basically pardon him.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, Bush gets to be this everyone's like sees him now as this nice guy when he goes on shows, I mean, he was considered a nice guy.
He probably is a nice guy.
I remember my old boss was like, "Oh, I like the Bushes. They're nice guys." I was like, "Ooh."
Well,
I'm gonna go away now. Yeah, they're. Let me tell you, for war criminals,
right?
Very nice.
A nicer one, yeah.
Yeah, definitely one of the nicer war criminals.
Woof.
Well,
we should.
No, that's it. I mean, it's just Ellen did a disservice to history.
I think so. Yeah.
And but you know what? If she wants me to come on a show, I'll dance.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a superstar artist,
right? Yeah.
And if I could sit next to George W. Bush at a wrestling match or something.
You can give him art tips.
Yeah. Be like, what, George? Don't draw the ghost of the Iraqi boy in all your paintings. Right. That's just my tip.
Now, George, when choosing between the turtle and the pirate, you're going to want to choose your...
Give some lighting tips and shading.
Yeah, right.
Then I'll go on Twitter and say, "Hey, guys,
right.
We could have difference in opinions, but can't we all just appreciate our bank accounts and our stock, our dividends?" And,
it is. It's at
the end of the day, that's what it was. It was two rich fuckers. It's two very privileged people, and that's it. And
they have nothing in common with Well, speaking of, I guess,
privileged people,
privilege and awful people, we got
American Psycho.
Patrick Bateman. Yeah.
Patrick Bateman.
Beer. Yeah. Okay, so American Psycho came out. Do you remember the year it came out?
I think it might be 2000.
Okay, that sounds about right. I know the novel. The novel came out earlier, and
yes, it's like from the 80s, right?
Yeah,
Bret Easton Ellis.
Yes. Now, I read when I was in high school, Less Than Zero.
Yep.
Which also was made into a movie.
I think almost every book how many books has he done?
He's got like 9 or 10. But he did. His big ones that have been made into films were Less Than Zero, Rules of Attraction.
It was okay.
Well, and Patrick Bateman is in Rules of Attraction. He's mentioned.
He's on the phone.
Yes.
I don't think he's in the movie. He might be on,
Okay.
In the movie, in the book, he's on, he calls him, because the main star of that is his brother.
Is his little brother, yeah.
Who's going, I guess, I don't know if he's going to the same school.
No, because...
They were going to he was Harvard, right?
Okay, then Patrick Bateman was Harvard.
Right.
And...
I don't remember what school Rules of Attraction was supposed to be.
I think it was a fake school modeled after where... Ellis went
the same school that the video game Bully takes
place.
Right?
Yeah. St. Paddleton's. And then American Psycho. Now, I read...
I'm not peeing, I'm pouring a beer.
I read...
but I will have to pee at some point.
I read Less Than Zero, which was amazing. And then I skipped Rules of Attraction. I read American Psycho, and it was gut-churning. It was horribly graphic and very violent and just very troublesome. I mean, I
never read the book. I read Rules of Attraction.
Oh, okay, cool.
I didn't read Less Than Zero. I saw the movie when I was younger.
Yep. Great soundtrack also.
Yep. I saw Rules of Attraction. I saw American Psycho.
Yeah.
And I even saw the sequel. The
direct-to-video sequel. I never saw that.
We'll get to that later. But.
Well, I will say, and I don't like the writer anymore, but I love his writing.
Why do you like him anymore?
Well, he's kind of a right-wing asshole. But wait. He's like
we could have our differences and get along, can't we?
David Mamet is
David Mamet became... Yeah, he got real obnoxious about it. I remember, because when I was living in New York...
Okay, sure. You probably saw Speed the Plow with Gary Sinise, and he was always doing great stuff there. I
never seen any Broadway plays.
Oh.
I lived in New York. Yeah. I think I saw... Well, no, that's not true. I did see some... I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
What I know David Mamet was, it's just that living in New York, I would see more mentioning, reading the Village Voice, and I remember him coming out and saying, he's a Republican, you know, and his reasonings just sounded like bullshit, though. He tried to have these,
paid.
I got paid, motherfucker! I'm rich, bitch!
Well, so I love this guy's writing, and I love his style of writing, and but I will say I liked American Psycho the movie a lot better than the book. Which is rare, usually. When I saw the movie first, though, back in 2000, I hated it. And lately, I've come to really like this movie a whole lot, you mean now when you saw it? It's definitely... it's funny, we watch these movies, and, I'll bring up a movie that I liked, or... appreciated back in the day. Let's talk about this and then rewatch it. Yeah. And I'm always seeing it again, new eyes. Yep. Paying attention to different things now, or I'm picking up on things. Now that I've seen it a bunch of times, I kind of know the plot, I know the characters. Yes. But I pick up on things, they drop, when they're out to eat, they're like, is that Ivanka Trump? His first wife. Right. But there's a lot of... Ivana Trump. There's a lot of name droppings throughout it. It's really interesting. It is. Yeah, but man, what a... How do I get into this? I guess we can just start from the... I know we're not going to talk about it in order. Right. So we'll just go right to the end. Okay, yeah. Spoilers, guys. Oh, yeah. Well, but I feel if you're listening to our podcast... Yeah. And we're going to talk for 2 hours. Right. We talked about Ellen and Spider-Man. Yeah. A natural Ellen and Spider-Man. Sure. A normal Marvel team up. Yeah. Spider-Man and George W. Spider-Man, Ellen, and Patrick Bateman walk into a bar.
And W.
Yeah, and W.
And they're both and Patrick Bateman's like, you brought that fucking right. I just want to paint you.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Paint you like my French lady.
Oh, you were going to jump to the ending of this? Well, the
whole... Yeah, who cares? It's a fucking psycho. All right, movie's over. All right. Now, he's still going on about that? Yeah. So, there's theories that he didn't do any of the murders.
Right.
That it's all in his head.
Right. There's some compelling theories.
And when I saw it in the theater too, I was like, he might not have killed anybody.
Right.
He is crazy, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely going through something.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely, like, I mean, like, when his assistant, played by... Chloe Savini.
Yep, who I love.
She sees, like, his diary, and it's just, like, craziness.
It's picture after picture of killings. Many of the killings we saw depicted in the film.
Right.
Right? Like the chainsaw and this. So, yeah, there's 3 big theories from what I can gather. One is that he killed all these people.
Yeah.
Okay?
And he's just really fucking lucky.
Well...
Because he's white and rich.
Yes. 2 is that he killed no one. He didn't kill any of these people.
Right.
And the third one is that he killed all these people except Paul Allen. The Jared Leto.
The guy who he kills in the beginning.
Paul
Allen is... well, the funny thing is, he goes around telling everybody he's Paul Allen throughout the whole movie.
Well, yeah.
Paul Allen's like his... he's like his main...
his nemesis.
Or like arch enemy, or who he thinks is like his equal, wants to destroy.
Right.
Like, he's the guy standing in his way of his success.
Well...
And he has dinner with him, invites him to his place, and they have that weird conversation about
Huey Lewis and
News.
Which is a great scene.
And I've never seen anyone talk about Huey Lewis and the News.
And Phil Collins.
And the way, with such passion.
Yeah.
And history.
Right.
Like I did in that movie.
But it's so great. Like, look, that's a scene that I really hated when I first saw the movie, and now I love. Like,
it was parodied a lot.
Yes.
It was like satired a lot. You know, it was like it was in the trailers with him with the
raincoat and all that.
Like,
well, I don't know. Like all of them call each other by the wrong names.
Well, the joke is, right, because the joke is like they're all like kind of the same.
Yeah, they're all interchangeable.
They're just rich white dudes.
They all have business cards that have vice president written on it.
The vice card, and the cards they're like arguing over, and as a normal person, or I guess a plebeian,
right,
would look at those cards and be like,
they're all the same.
They're all the same, and they're like, no, look at the bone,
the
font, and the fonts are just slight deviations,
and they're all like different shades of white, like.
Well, they are all different shades of white too,
and they all dress the same.
They're all wearing different shades of gray.
Yes, so it is. I think it's so clever. Like they're all calling each other by the wrong name, and sometimes they do it intentionally, and sometimes they do it unintentionally.
Right.
And so by the time...
But he's going around, after he kills Paul Allen, he literally goes to places and intentionally tells people he's Paul Allen.
Yeah. And he does that, and he picks up those prostitutes, and he says it like so, my name is Paul Allen.
My favorite is that one prostitute he keeps picking up.
Oh,
the one who's like, I had to go to the emergency room.
Right.
She looked like Baby Spice from the Spice Girls.
Oh, yeah.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, bad for her.
So
even though you don't know... the joke thing, the theory is, like, when he drops the chainsaw, you don't hear it.
Right.
You don't hear it fall or anything.
Well, and no one in the building hears it.
But, like there's the scene where, like, the prostitute, though, goes in and sees all the dead bodies now in his apartment.
Yes.
But then he goes to where he killed Paul Allen at his own place or something, or Paul Allen's place.
He killed Paul Allen Patrick Bateman killed Paul Allen at Patrick Bateman's place.
Right.
Because there's that scene where Paul Allen's like, why do you have all these style sections on the...
But he said I have his body's like...
Well, he
decomposing or like sitting in...
Yeah, he took all of the bodies to Paul Allen's place to hide them. And I remember there's that great scene where he walks in and he walks in with the dead body and he's just committed another. He's like, and I felt really terrible because it was clear that Paul Allen's place was much more expensive than mine. And he's like, oh.
Well, I love too, like his towards the end when he's wearing the face mask.
Oh yeah.
And he expects to, like, because it's like a bunch of dead bodies, so it's like, I don't want to breathe this in.
Yeah.
But none of that's going on.
Right.
It's being renovated.
Yeah.
Where Paul Allen's body should be, it's not there. Nothing's there.
Right.
And that's when you're like, that's when the audience is like, What?
Right. Well, and I guess the payoff is at the very end, and we'll go back to the beginning in a second, but at the very end, Patrick Bateman goes to his attorney, and the attorney keeps calling him the wrong name.
Yeah.
And Patrick Bateman's like, I'm Patrick Bateman. I left you a message, and I killed Paul Allen. And the guy's like, no, I just had dinner with Paul Allen.
In like Europe.
In London, twice, within the last 10 days. But by then, you're so accustomed to everyone getting everyone's name wrong that you have no idea if it's true or not.
Right.
Who knows if he did or didn't. Could it exonerate? Could you interpret that as like, oh, Patrick Bateman never killed anyone? Of course, if you believe that the lawyer is accurately reporting on his experiences, but nobody's accurately. I mean, so
yeah,
it's
you
just
said no one's even getting names right.
Right. So it's weird. Anyway, the whole movie is there's this very wealthy, young 27-year-old investment banker on Wall Street.
Obviously comes from privilege.
Yep.
Because you don't get to be a 27-year-old investment banker
right.
on Wall Street.
He works in mergers and acquisitions, or, as he sometimes says, murders and executions. And he kills people nonstop.
Yeah.
Right? That's the movie.
Well, not the whole movie. Yeah. I mean, it starts with Paul Allen? And then he kills like the homeless guy.
I thought he killed the homeless guy first, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I totally blanked on the order. Well, it doesn't even matter. Like, he's killing people like left and right, or
right.
like, he abuses the prostitutes.
Yep.
He kills a homeless guy. He's having sex with them, and he's just like looking in the mirror. He's like, yeah. It's like the funniest scene in the whole movie.
It is. It is very crazy. Now, and I probably should mention this later, but I'll say it now so I don't forget. The director came out. Now, it was directed by a woman, which was unusual because this got badmouthed for being anti-woman.
Right.
This film, and she said afterwards, "I never meant to make it ambiguous. You're supposed to think he killed all those people." Right? But
did she? I saw an interview with her, and she. I don't know. I thought she said. I don't think she said like.
She didn't say.
She said it was meant to be left open or something, but.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, look. I just read this the last couple days, and I watched the movie.
I mean, the movie came out 20 years ago.
Yeah,
she could have done one interview 10 years ago and said something, and then said something in 5 years to change her fucking mind.
Well, that's.
A movie's 20 years old. You can change your mind sometimes. And say, you know what? Actually, to be honest, I did intend to. Now that I think about it, I did intend to have Patrick Bateman not. It was all in his head.
I thought that was really funny because I wondered, is maybe the director kind of an unreliable narrator?
Well, isn't the writer also unreliable too? Because he even said that it's left to interpretation.
Yes. Well, yes, exactly.
Even in the book, it's left to interpretation that you don't know if he actually killed all the people.
Right, because in Rules of Attraction, there's no.
Rules of Attraction almost has like a similar thing where he is here. I forgot the guy's name. His name. He's a Bateman also.
Yeah. And
he's having sex with a woman, but he's also having sex with some dude too.
Right.
And you find out it's like in their heads. They're not with him.
Right.
Actually, or something bizarre. Like there's some weird, unreliable, just like how he had murder. Like Bateman is like this thing or something where they actually made up their relationships with him.
Well, Bateman appeared in a couple more novels by this guy. I think Lunar Park.
Patrick Bateman or the brother?
Patrick Bateman.
Okay.
And in one of the novels, he shows up and he has a strange stain on his suit, and you're supposed to interpret that as blood or whatever. Right. But they don't say it. They just say.
Well, when he shows up at the cleaners or something.
Yeah, that was a crazy scene.
And he says it's like wine,
right,
or whatever.
Yeah.
And
but
it's blood.
Clearly, it's So there's
he's getting married to Reese Witherspoon's character, but the whole movie he's not you just see some scenes with him having dinner with her. She seems uptight and whatever. It's obviously just marrying into class. It's not based on love in any way.
No,
he is just banging different chicks throughout the whole movie.
Right,
he's not even he's never even with her.
No,
he's only with her in those 2 or 3 dinner scenes you see her with it. He's not even going home with her.
Right, and there's other scenes where Jared Leto's character, Paul Allen, says things about she wound up with Patrick Bateman, but it was a different girl, and I don't know, it was crazy. So
then he's sleeping with that other woman who's kind of like, she's on lithium?
Right.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
And is that supposed to be Paul Allen's fiance or something?
That's a good question. I don't remember that. I watched this movie in the theater. I saw it again, like, I don't know, like 10 years ago maybe. And then over the last couple days, I've watched it at least 2 full times, probably 2.5 times. And unfortunately, I've had to kind of like segment my watch. I'll watch like an hour and then I'll go do something and then I'll watch another half hour or whatever. So, and watching it multiple times over the last 2 days has kind of jumbled it up in my head. What were you going to say?
No, just that scene in the beginning when they're talking and like the one guy goes on about the Jews.
Ooh.
That gave me a special feeling. I was like, I felt real comfortable there. I was like,
well, it was weird.
I'm kidding. I was like, oh, good. I'm Jewish, so.
But you're right. It was in like the first 5 minutes.
I've experienced that at businesses firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, one guy says something terribly anti-Semitic, and then Patrick Bateman, the serial killer, is like, hey, ease up on the anti-Semitism.
Yeah, listen, I may kill prostitutes and everything like that, but
I have,
ease up on the anti-Semitism, buddy.
But then another guy is like, well, you're just saying that because you're dating a lawyer from the ACLU or something to that effect.
Well, they're just like Republican douchebags. I mean, they're clearly like old Reaganites, like.
Well, at the end, remember they're talking about like whether or not Reagan is secretly a psychopath.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's Reagan era.
Yeah, this is the 80s. So I always think, okay, so we go on about the movie.
Sure.
And like, you know, we were talking about Brett Easton Ellis.
Yes.
The last time I saw him, he was on
Ellen. And
he was on Ellen. He was sitting in a luxury box with George W. Bush, and he said, "Listen, we can have similar opinions about dividends and buying things and owning multiple houses and iPhone 11s.
Oof.
Can't we all just get along?"
Right. Yeah.
So the most current thing I know of him, like I said, I knew him as like the writer of all those books and those movies, and like they're I feel like they're like. I always feel like people say things like, "Oh, well, his movies are like his books are critiques on the yuppie generation and all that." But I almost think it's like the opposite. And when I watched the Bill Maher, he was on Bill Maher not too long ago, and he came out, and so like Bill Maher usually he does his thing where he does like his monologue, and then he has a guest on, then he does the panel,
right?
And then halfway through the panel, he'll have another guest on. He'll interview him for a little bit, and then they have a full-on discussion.
Sure.
So Bret Easton Ellison was that guest who came on while the panel was happening.
Okay.
And Bret Easton Ellison had to have a conversation about like PC, attacking millennials, SJWs, you know, real easy red meat bullshit. That's like anyone who doesn't really pay attention and sees that, they laugh, they think it's funny. SJWs, ha ha, they don't know what it means. They've heard people make fun of it, and he's like feeding into it. This guy who wrote these books, and he just came off like a fucking. The funny thing was he wasn't like that. It was almost like Bill Maher had a guy on named Charles Blow or whatever.
Charles Blow. He's a great writer for the New York Times,
and he like intercepted the conversation.
Okay,
because he started going about SJW things, and the guy's like, "Well, what's your deal with SJW?"
Right. And
they're like, well, you know, they go on Twitter and they say, it's like social justice warriors are.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know what that means? Like the guy, like totally, like they wanted to create this narrative. Mm-hmm. In their mind, they think the SJWs are just people who complain on Twitter.
Right.
And this guy was like, no, social justice warriors, or as you like to say it, SJWs, like those are people who are helping people, making sure laws go into effect, like the ACLU, all these like things.
They
that,
go,
like
voting drives and
you know, helping marginalized people and all that, you know, stuff that like. People who get to sit in luxury boxes and George W. Bush don't have to deal with that.
Exactly,
so it's easy for them to write it off and laugh and make it a joke. So Bret Easton Ellison, it was kind of funny. Like the whole thing got sabotaged.
Nice.
And I was so happy. That guy destroyed them.
I'll bet. Yeah, like he's real smart. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he wasn't like, he was like he didn't allow any of that to happen. And so I saw like other interviews of him. And it just comes off like a typical, like you said, like a David Mamet. It's like, he's just someone who clearly, you know, it's like he's got a name. He's had tons of movies. This guy's obviously well-to-do.
Yep.
That's fine. He earned it. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like when Seinfeld says dumb shit like, oh, I don't like go to colleges. Like it just sounds like a bunch of old men attacking younger people.
Right.
While ignoring the fact that the people who are complaining that are young
Yeah.
have several legitimate reasons to be complaining.
Well, and like all the people that, I mean, Mamet and Ellison, Seinfeld, and the rest, they were leaders of the world that these people have problems with. You know, I mean, like Ellison, Bret Easton Ellis. I mean, he helped create this culture that these other people are trying to fix.
He's not. I mean, did he create it? It was more like a reaction to it. I mean, it was happening. It was going to happen regardless if he wrote it or not. He didn't create yuppies and
no, he didn't create
David and Spader villains, James Spader bad guys from the 80s.
I liked American Psycho, and if you had asked me previously, I would have said it was like a cutting satire of yuppie culture, and that he was really writing to make a statement against those people.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if he is, because I was talking to my wife about this, and I said, like, when you watch the movie, yes, there is a critique and it's showing these people, but at the same time, there is glorification to what they're doing. They are living a better lifestyle.
Yep.
They have better lives. They are living the high life. They're rich. They're eating fancy dinners.
Yes.
Are they assholes? Yes, they're massive douchebags, but they're also held at a higher regard. They're dropping names in higher government. They all went to Harvard. He is still creating a power structure. Yeah. He's still saying that these people are up here and you're down there. Well, it's almost like you're being, even though you are critiquing it, like from the outside,
right?
Like
you're also kind
of, but you're also being taught to, like, you're being conditioned into understanding that this is like the gods or something.
Well, it's funny. There's several scenes in the movie where, like, once you get used to the idea that there are all these vice presidents at Price and Price, and they all look alike, and they act alike, and they dress alike, and they talk alike, and they confuse each other's names, and they are kind of like uniformed in these beautiful suits or whatever, and all the servants in the movie get treated like shit. The Chinese laundromat couple, they're horribly treated by Patrick Bateman.
Yep.
And
the homeless man he kills is a black
man. The homeless man. Yep. And then there's that.
He's like, "Why'd you get a job?"
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, thanks, guy. Yeah. He's handed everything.
And that scene where they're at a dinner party and they dress like the servants up like elves in these ridiculous costumes, and they're just sort of ignored and like.
But I mean, like, you could say that he is criticizing them, but at the same time, we are still, as the audience, have to recognize them as the power.
Yeah.
We are not told, there is no destruction of this power.
No.
They are, in the end of the day, Patrick Bateman will they are still going to live their lives and we're going to live our lives. And that's the way the world works. And I'm not saying, again, that he's like this douchebag for doing that. I'm just saying, though, I don't see them as real critiques. I think there's glorification behind it.
Yeah.
When you apply cool music to anything,
right,
you can make anything cool, even if it's like.
Well, I read something. I think it was this morning.
That's why they should have Nickelback and Kid Rock in the soundtrack. That would definitely make it not cool.
I saw, I saw something this morning where a guy was arguing that this movie is a feminist movie. The book is a feminist book because it portrays all this violence against women as being perpetrated by these men, X, Y, and Z. And a female writer wrote back and said, like, you may think that as a white man.
Maybe as a guy you think
right,
that. I'm going to disagree with you.
Well,
again, it's all about perspective.
Yeah, it is. It's a perspective.
I can't see, someone can come to me and be like, oh, well, you're white, or something like that.
Right.
And I'll be like, well, you know what? Yeah. Not really. I mean, like, not that way. And when in the beginning of the movie, when you see the guy say this shit about Jewish people.
Yeah. It's clearly a marker.
I'm like, no, I would not be accepted there.
No.
I've been in that situation where I've dealt with people like that.
Yeah.
In business and stuff like that. And you just kind of shut up or, you say something and you just create a whole situation.
Right.
Like I said, I don't, Less Than Zero, all these things, I don't see them as a true critique. I don't see them as deep-cutting satire. I think they are glorification They are there to make things look cool. Cool music apply. It's like the Facebook movie.
Oh The Social Network.
Yeah. To me, that movie, when I watched it, there were people who were like, well, doesn't it make him look like a good guy? I'm like, no, it did. Yeah. It made him out to be cool. It made him out to be like he was a rebel.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to put ads on Facebook, even though he did.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do this. That wouldn't be cool. It was all about, they say throughout the whole movie, like, well, that wouldn't be cool. It was a commercial.
Yeah. I will say the difference with The Social Network is you could see the Zuckerberg character as being like a hero of sorts.
He's like a anti-hero.
Yeah. Or at least sympathetic, but like, man, American Psycho, it's tough to find.
I'm not saying that he's a hero.
Yeah.
Even though, but it is weird when the movie, when the main character of the movie,
right,
and the main, like, unlike when you watch like Freddy or Jason, sure. The main perspective is not Freddy or Jason.
No, it's
that when you watch any of these movies, like even like what Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not really from his.
No,
he's like an agent, or he's the, what's the term, protagonist, or
well, the protagonist is the one moving the story forward. Like I would say in Psycho, initially it's Jennifer
until she gets
yeah. In this, Patrick Bateman's definitely the protagonist.
He's like in almost every scene.
Yeah,
it's from his. You are, even though it's not like any other horror movie where, like I said, like. Yeah, you go see Friday 13th.
Right,
but
that's a
like
good point.
Freddy, I mean, Jason just shows up and kills people. You're not sympathizing with him. You're not going through, like, what's Jason going through to get, what's he thinking? No one's ever really made that.
Yeah.
And then this movie, you're watching it, so when you watch it, it's almost like, a Fight Club.
Yeah.
Like when you remember that movie?
Right, I do.
I think we might have talked about it once.
Yep, it's a great one.
You could check out our archives.
Oh, yeah, the Fight Club.
And it's interesting, this movie comes out like a year before.
Yep.
And there's some similarities and some
I think
themes.
there's a lot.
But I would say what Fight Club does it better, I would say Fight Club is better deep cut satire of our society.
Toxic masculinity.
Well, I mean, like, even just like power structure. Like, than American Psycho is. I still think in the end of the day, American Psycho celebrates it. Regardless, you may look at it and go, oh yeah, these guys are assholes, but you're still celebrating it.
Right.
You're not celebrating it in Fight Club. You're told that, like, your life is shit because of the people in American Psycho.
Well, it's weird. I agree. It's funny. But
there's similar elements where the main bad guy of the movie is also the hero.
Yes.
Same thing with this one. And you said the unreliable narrator.
Oh, yeah.
Where you don't really know, you can't trust what you're watching.
Exactly. It's tough. And I think, they both do such a great job, but like Fight Club pulls it off very cleverly, almost in like an M. Night Shyamalan sort of way. Yes.
And they don't leave it open to interpretation.
No, they don't.
Exactly. He's Tyler Durden. Right. Spoilers, guys.
Sorry. Yes. You know exactly what, at the end of Fight Club, you have a really good idea of what happened.
Yeah. Here it's like...
It's very ambiguous.
Yeah, and is that good?
Well...
is that... I don't think... And I know, like, people, like, not everything needs to be explained.
Right.
But I still think some things need to be explained. It's like...
I agree. I would normally say that you want some sort of ground, on which you can walk. You want, like, a foundation for the film. But, like, this one, I don't know. I think the point... A lot of the point was this... it was almost unreal, and that was maybe part of the point, is it was so unreal and unsettling.
Well, he definitely is insane. Or he definitely has, like, mental problems. Because the book, when you're watching The Secretary, that's a scene, one of the rare scenes where he's not in it.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And she's by herself and sees the book.
Right.
So
you can trust. You're supposed to be able to trust that. Yeah.
Right. She's like a regular person.
Yeah.
And he doesn't kill her either. Remember, he invites her back to the apartment.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's gonna like.
He's trying to work up the nerve.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't. There's two people that he wants to kill but doesn't, and it's the partner that came on to him.
Oh, that's the best part, the gay panic scene. Right. That's one of the funniest scenes in the whole movie.
He washes his gloves.
He touches his glove, and it's like the guy like the one with the bow tie.
Yes, and I forget his name, but yeah.
Is he the Lewis. One? Is he the one that is engaged to the woman that he was the woman on Lithium?
Oh, that could be.
And he kept on saying he was like the biggest douchebag in New York or something. And yeah, there's that scene where he's gonna kill him.
Right.
And, in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And
but he mistakes it for coming on to him.
The guy thinks that Patrick Bateman's coming on. The gay panic scene is so funny. And it's like such an 80s,
yeah.
Because that is like probably the most realistic scene in the whole movie. Well, that he would be like, good, he ran out. That guy lives another day because...
Yeah, I wonder, look, I think probably the right and the simplest explanation is it was a gay panic. But I almost wondered, look, the only two people he doesn't kill, and the only two people that he's kind of flustered by, are the only two people in the film that show, genuine care for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the Lewis guy, if I'm remembering his name right, the gay guy, I believe he routinely gets Patrick's name correct. Right? And Jean routinely gets Patrick's name correct.
Secretary.
Yes. So,
there's, an affection.
Yes.
And
they see him.
That's interesting.
They recognize him as a person.
They actually know who he is, and I'm calling him Paul Allen.
Exactly.
The other guy's names.
And he's seen by them. Right?
And it's he can't handle that.
He can't handle it. He doesn't know what to do.
Right.
He's someone shows him genuine affection.
Or just acknowledgement that he exists and he's an actual human.
Right.
He's an individual. That's the joke, too, about the plot, right? His facts about Huey Lewis and everything. It's
right.
He's striving so hard to be an individual.
Yeah.
Because I know the way to be an individual is to have a full knowledge of Huey Lewis and Phil Collins and Genesis.
Right.
So it's very important.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it sets you apart.
Well, but it is about being an individual and something that he's not. He is just like all those other guys.
He's a cog. Yeah.
What I was gonna say, I totally forgot.
Yeah. But they see him.
Yeah.
And
he can't handle it.
He doesn't know what to do.
Right. He's like a damaged puppy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
love.
Yeah, right.
What's his friendship?
But he has no problem, killing.
But it is true. The scene with her when she's the book, it is one of the rare scenes where he's not in it.
That's funny. I
mean, there are other scenes in the movie where he's not in it, but it's very small.
Right.
But he's in almost every scene. Okay, another good example. Spoilers, guys.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about a movie that just came out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not going to get too deep into it because I would talk about it in a future episode.
Right.
Movie's called The Penguin.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit. No, I'm sorry. The Joker.
Yes.
It's got the wrong Batman villain.
Right.
Coming soon. Madam Web.
Right.
I can't wait. The dark origin of Madam Web. The
Spider Witch.
Spider Witch, because no one would know what the fuck that is.
Right.
Ooh, Jackpot.
Yes.
I can't wait for Jackpot, the movie. That's going to make a jackpot in the box office. The Joker, starring Jared Leto. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's funny. Okay, funny thing about casting.
Yeah.
Jared Leto, who played a Joker for 5 minutes in a movie.
Yes.
And the guy who played Patrick Bateman.
Right. Oh, it was Batman, Christian Bale.
Yeah, he was a Batman.
Yeah.
And he also was a John Connor.
Right. What do you think of Christian Bale as an actor?
I like Christian Bale. I think he's one of the greats. When he was cast as Batman, I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That was at the time when they we're gonna fix Batman.
Right.
This is it's been 7 years or 8 years after that horrendous Batman Robin movie, and we're gonna cast him. And I heard all different names being dropped, and just saw him in American Psycho, saw him in a bunch of other movies. He was in The Machinist. He's an actor.
The Machinist was haunting.
Yeah.
Not as haunting as his Dragon movie.
What?
Remember his Dragon movie?
That wasn't that bad.
With Matthew McConaughey.
It could have been better.
I loved
it. It's not a bad movie.
No, it was a weird movie.
Better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting movie.
What was that called? Reign of Fire?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So, when they casted him, I was like, that's good casting.
Yes, agreed.
I mean, I remember the first movie he was in, he was a kid. It was Empire of the Sun.
Oh, yeah.
With, it was a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yep. Yeah.
Where he's in a concentration camp in China or something like that. Or a war camp. Yeah, that was really good.
That was legitimately good. That was an Oscar film.
And that's his first movie, so you knew right off the bat he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Not like Jake Lloyd and Jingle All the Way gets cast in Star Wars. They're
a franchise killer.
Hey, you have an option. I mean, he was too old already to play a 9-year-old.
Right. Yeah.
But, you got the option of casting a kid from the kid from Empire of the Sun.
Yeah.
George, you got the option to cast the kid from Jingle All the Way. What do you do? Well,
is the jingling coins?
Jingle sounds like money jingling.
Yeah.
And I want to jingle it all the way, baby.
Right.
So
I'm going all in on Jake Lloyd.
Okay, so no, he's a great actor.
He's
and he had a great blowout in that famous scene from
what a
Terminator.
dick.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Sure.
He's still a great actor.
Yeah.
He was in that movie, The Prestige.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, the Magician's one. That was a good one.
The Machinist was amazing, I thought.
So he's in the movie, though, with Jared Leto, who eventually becomes a Joker, but a different kind of Joker. The Juggalo Joker.
Right.
The one no one likes.
Yes.
I think that gets a bad rap, though. So the new one, starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Yep.
People are like, oh, well, Joaquin Phoenix is so much better than Jared Leto as a Joker. I'm like, okay, well...
Apples and oranges.
First of all, he's in the movie for, Suicide Squad was not a good movie, and he's in the movie for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's never given he's just a guy who is... You're told as the Joker. The way the movie's edited, it's a series of vignettes.
Right.
You didn't see his performance. You don't know what he was.
I thought he was fine.
He was fine for whatever that was.
Right. I agree.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But so the Joker comes out, and I find a lot of similarities. Spoilers, guys. Spoilers.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities between the Joker and American Psycho.
Well, the Joker is an unreliable narrator. But
it's also like the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Where and it's interesting because Pat Bateman's played by the guy who plays Batman. And Joaquin Phoenix is playing Batman's main villain.
Right.
And they have similar where they go in two different directions.
Mm-hmm.
But now imagine if American Psycho starred Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, regardless, the Joker is very similar in aspects. But what I liked about it was it showed poverty and class struggle and mental illness,
right?
And what would create that in Gotham, and it was imagine city Gotham being run by the people in American Psycho, and then you got a guy who's can't get a break, he's mentally ill, social services, he's taking medicine,
right?
And then it's cut up. Spoilers. Because of Reagan-style politics, they don't hide from it in this movie.
No, it's the deinstitutionalization.
They even say it. They're like, funding was cut off. He regularly shows up to meet with this woman, the social worker who basically writes out his prescriptions. He's on 7 different medications. Yeah. Because he's insane. He's got several disorders. Yeah. And he's taken off of them. And the funny thing is, the audience, remember, you watch him and you're like, he's free.
Right, yeah.
Because now he can be completely insane.
Yeah.
So he's his legitimate self. Yeah. As you could say. It's a great advertisement for Scientology.
Well, yeah, right?
Because they're very anti
pills,
any type of medic. So, but it follows almost a similar structure where you don't know if he's doing these things, and he's in every scene in the movie too.
Okay. Well, and you find in the Joker that he thinks he's been dating this girl, and he really hasn't.
Right. There's a lot of different, unreliable, and that's revealed. It's not that big of a mystery. They don't hide that or leave it to interpretation. He was not with that woman, but it's a scene on a train on the subway. Yeah, with the Wall Street guys. Yeah, we're gonna probably rape that woman.
Right, the Price and Price.
They are. Yeah, they are. One of them looks like Eric Trump. Actually, no joke. The tall dumb one as opposed to the short dumb one. He's got the slick back hair. Yeah, that is not a joke. No. But I just found it interesting, this movie. I don't really want to get into the Joker. I could save that for its own thing. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I liked it. It's almost like a good mirror to American Psycho. Yeah. It's almost like you could watch these two movies, and it's almost like you're seeing two similar themes. Right. But different classes, and, one ends up in an institution in the end, and I guess becomes the Joker, and the other one just gets to continue his lifestyle. Well, that's the thing. Without any consequences. Yeah. Well, the last thing in American Psycho is he desperately wants to get caught. He keeps confessing. The guy. He has that long confession to his lawyer, right? Right. A detailed long confession. And the lawyer thinks it's a joke. Yeah. Which is that's kind of insane, too. Yeah. If I left a crazy... Right. And let's say you're my lawyer,
Sure,
or just
sure.
a fellow podcast host, and I left this long, crazy thing. I mean, maybe out of nervousness, you would say, Rob.
Right.
You left this really weird message with me last night, and this is like a joke?
Right. Yeah.
And I'd say yes. Haha.
It is weird. Like, all throughout the movie, Patrick Bateman keeps trying to confess. You know? Like, he'll even say, like, when the couple at the laundromat turn around, he says something like, I'm going to kill you. And every often, like, the woman at the nightclub that tells him it's a cash bar.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm going to rip your head off, you bitch, or something like that.
Right. And, I mean,
that's not the exact quote. But
no, but
it's close.
That's it. That's the gist. And he keeps saying stuff like this, and people just sort of laugh it off. Remember, he's like, talks about how, like,
Ed Gein, the scene he's with his cronies or friends or whatever, associates, and they're just telling douchebag stories.
Yeah.
And then he says, let me talk about Ed Gein.
Right.
And they're like, who? He said, I wonder what it was like to put her head on
a pet pike or something.
Yeah, and they're like,
what?
Right. That took it too far there, buddy.
Right. But then they move on. Yeah. It's like,
because they kind of know how the game is. It's just a bunch of dudes sitting around.
Right. Locker room.
One of them, I know that's fucked up. Yeah, kind of.
But at the end,
they grab him by the pussy. They want it. Ooh, a little too far.
Right. Well, I guess I'll vote for you anyway.
Yeah. You gotta change those the dividends and stock options and all that. Yeah. Okay, good.
But at the end, he's like, "Look, I've done all this.
I'll deregulate everything,
and I'm still in this great pain, and nothing's changed, and my confession."
So, are you supposed to be sympathetic to him?
Well, that's the thing. Is like, it's a weird thing. Like, you're forced to. Because you're right.
You're with them for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And
you're forced to take his perspective.
He is still, at the end of the day, he's charismatic. He's not, he's...
Well, it's just weird. Like, remember the scene where he goes to... all throughout the movie, he's crazy. He's, like, insane. But when you finally get to the point where you're like, okay, here's proof that he's having a psychotic break, is when he goes to the ATM... And the ATM machine says, like, feed me a stray cat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's like, that. There's something else, like, on the door or something that says there's a thing on a sign that says, like, something weird. That should not be there.
Exactly. And so the audience at that point is like, okay, we're seeing this through his eyes and he's crazy. And there just happens to be a cat there. Like, what are the odds? So he picks up the cat and he tries to put it in the ATM slot, and it won't fit.
Funny thing you say that, because the other day my cat Buddy was there.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And I tried putting him in the toaster. And
that cat's not fitting in the
toaster.
He's
not even fitting in a pizza oven.
Right.
He's about 670 pounds.
You'll need a crane.
I have to wear a weight belt when I pick him up, and full braces.
Well, then he...
Bend and lift.
He shoots... The old woman says, like, what are you doing with the cat? Because then he pulls out a gun, he's going to shoot the cat. And an old lady yells at him, and he kills the old lady. And then immediately cops are there. And he's running. And then he gets in a shootout with cops. And he's a million bullets are coming out of his gun. And he kills the cops. And then he shoots the cop car, and it blows up.
Which is
ridiculous.
Like, it's almost like that happens in movies, but that's like fantasy.
And then even Patrick Bateman is like... He stops for a second and he looks at the gun like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this none of this should be happening. So, you do get to the point where, like, even though you're sympathetic to him, you get to that scene, it's clear that something's going on, but then you're stuck with, because the cops start chasing him, you're stuck with this decision. Do you root for him to escape? Do you...
Well, it's the same thing with, like, the Joker. It's like,
you
root for him. You want him to succeed almost, because he is, like, again, spoiler, when he does murder people in the beginning, it's like vigilante. It's almost like it is like a vigilante or like a taxi driver. He's so you're rooting for him, and the fucked up thing is, like, there's scenes where he has morals. Okay. There's a guy in the movie where he kills one guy and there's another guy.
Oh yeah,
and he doesn't kill him
because he was nice to him.
Yeah, he was nice to him.
Yeah,
which is like, I mean, he's not full on Joker, right? there's like he's a vigilante at this point,
right?
And so it's interesting to see that, and you are rooting for him because he is still the main star of the film.
Yeah.
It's about him, and
Mm-hmm.
you want him to succeed in his
mission,
or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because we're kind of like trained. It's funny because like everyone in this movie is acting how they're trained, like how they're trained to act. The servants are serving, the investment bankers are being pricks, and so on. And like the audience is kind of like primed to be trained too. Like we're supposed to root for this guy.
And this isn't we've watched movies before that show
yeah.
like upper class people and they're pricks, but you still like want them to like. People have watched shows like Dynasty.
Sure.
One of my favorite shows right now is Succession.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're fucking assholes.
Right.
I don't politically align with these people. They're douchebags, but they're trying to cut that deal. Man, I hope they get that deal.
Yeah, right? It is. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
It's manipulating an audience. You know, it's like when you're sitting in a luxury box seat next to a war criminal.
Right.
You're having a good time, dude.
That's funny. Yeah.
And you both want to get that hot dog.
Well, in the...
Well, it's a shame. They have hot dogs there. So.
At the end of the book...
Actually, before you get into it, did you not see the video where Ellen and George W. Bush ate a hot dog, kind of like a la Lady and the Tramp style?
I did not see that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen.
No, that's off-brand. I would say, like, in the book, I remember the last scene of the book, Patrick Bateman's sitting at the restaurant, and he looks up at a sign, and it says something like, "This is not an exit."
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And then, it says something else, too. Like,
there's some... Damn it. It doesn't matter. I was going to pause it and look it up, but you guys can do that.
Yeah, Google it. Well, actually, it's on...
Or watch it. It's on...
it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
And it is. It's... I don't know. Anyway, at the end... He basically says, "We've all wasted our time here."
What?
He's at the end. Patrick Bateman says, he doesn't say this literally, but he's like, "Look, I've learned nothing. There's no catharsis. I'm not like getting a release. I'm going to keep doing this forever." You almost are told that like it was all a waste of time to like engage. in this
can you
discussion.
say too like what he's doing is immoral, even like on what he does for work or like what he is, and he's just going to keep doing it, and he's not going to face any crime. He's just going to concede because the world that we live in celebrates it and it like rewards that.
Oh, absolutely,
and therefore, he will. So it's like he's killing it, but maybe not in a literal way.
Right.
It's like one thing that's good. Movie moves very fast.
Oh yeah.
It's only an hour and 41 minutes, which let me tell you, for movies today. That's not a theater. I don't know what it does up with it. Like every movie that comes out, like has to be like over
hours.
2 hours, 2.5 hours. Like what happened to a good hour and 35 minute movie?
Well, look,
RoboCop is like 90 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's everything you need it.
Right.
He's a RoboCop.
Yeah, he's going to RoboCop.
He's a RoboCop it up.
Well, like, look, this one clocks in, like you said, it's
an hour and 41 minutes or something. I was like looking at it. I was like, oh, how long is this movie?
It goes quickly.
Yep.
Almost every scene has something interesting going on.
Yep.
There's not a lot of scenes where you're like, oh, well, now we're going to...
this scene's a chore.
Exactly. I mean, they're all, like, pretty quick.
Some movies have that. Even, like, some of the best movies will have some scenes where you're just like... Ugh.
This one doesn't seem to. There's great shots of New York. Did you see the Twin Towers appear in this? Like,
well... Funny fact about the movie is the Twin Towers were still there when the movie was released.
Because it was released like in 2000.
Yes.
That's
not a funny fact.
No, but there's
fun fact.
Great shot of the Twin Towers. You get to see New York, and like if you're familiar, I'm not like intimately familiar with New York, but they make references like you've got to get to Uptown in 20 minutes, and he's like down where the trade centers used to be, and you're like, I wonder how that's going to work out. So there's like a lot of cool stuff happening in there, but it ends like on such what I think is an ambiguous note, and you don't know exactly what you just watched. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, is that a good thing or a bad? No, I'm good on that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's like, and this is like maybe this is not a good comparison, but like, you remember Sopranos? Did you watch Sopranos?
Oh yeah.
You saw the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. Remember the ending?
Oh yeah, I liked the ending, but yes.
You liked that ending? That when it went to black?
Let me tell you how I interpret it.
Okay, please explain that.
I thought, I don't think Tony got killed at the end. And I hear that that's probably what happened. But I thought, so Tony Soprano in the very first scene of the very first episode is talking to his shrink, and he's like, I feel like I came in at the end of something great, and I feel like I missed out, So he spends this whole whatever many seasons trying to recreate this greatness. But he's hunted.
He's talking about his dad and
Yeah. But at the end of it, he's hunted. Okay, all his associates have dead in jail. He's on the. He'll never have a moment of peace.
Right.
So when Tony walks into that restaurant and he sits down, and you see all the other characters.
Spoiler warnings.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You see other characters come in, and he's kind of nervously looking. And then there's little shots of danger, like Meadow bumps her car against a curb or something, and you're waiting for shit to happen. And then it fades to black, and the audience is left anxious, what's going to happen? That's how Tony lives forever.
Yeah, I've heard that theory.
You know what I mean?
You're kind of seeing what it's like.
Yeah.
Him constantly being on edge.
Yeah.
But as a viewer and someone who watched the show for 10 years, there's
a
very dissatisfying ending. I mean, I don't expect everything to end, but at the same time, I do expect, as somebody who watched the show, it's funny, everyone got mad about Game of Thrones.
Right.
I will say, regardless of what you think, at least in the end, you knew where they all ended up.
Oh, it had a very definitive.
I thought that, regardless of what you think,
yep.
how it was done, you knew what's-her-face was going to get killed.
Yes,
the dragon lady.
If you were paying attention,
You knew that was, her inevitable end.
Right.
You knew John was going to end up, and it's funny, these are all HBO shows.
Yeah,
but you knew John was going to end up with the North.
Yep.
You knew that what's-her-face, who was traveling through the whole show, was probably going to travel.
Yep.
And you knew the other one was going to be a queen of something, because that's what she aspired to be. She wanted to be royalty. And they all ended up in the place, and the other one, who was the hand to the king, Bran,
right.
He ended up exactly where he should have been too,
because
that's what he is. And regardless of what you want, there's a satisfying ending.
Yeah.
You know what happens, and you can disagree and argue, but at the end of the day, at least that was a fucking ending.
True.
This had no ending. This was just okay, well, they did kill off some key characters throughout the end of the season. They kill, and
you're talking about Sopranos.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
And you knew what happened to some of them, but the show was about the family and him.
Yeah.
And it just cuts off.
Right.
And it was weak sauce.
Yeah.
Is the word I would use. And watching a movie for an hour and 40 minutes is not the same as watching a 70 hours.
Right, good point.
Spread out over 10 fucking years, where you had to wait 2-3 years for some of the seasons because of contractual
right. That's a good
bullshit.
Point.
So, let's say I watched the show straight through
right.
on Netflix or whatever, probably wouldn't be as bothered as much. It wouldn't mean as much.
Yeah.
But when you dedicate and you think about it, you you're thinking about it. That's why there's something about binging shows versus watching week to week.
Yeah.
You have time to reflect and think.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad was a show where I watched it. I didn't
week by week.
No, I didn't. I came in after the 4th season and watched it week by week.
Okay,
I was getting on the disc, or I think I was streaming at that point on Netflix. And after season 4, because I heard how amazing it was.
Sure.
And then season 5 was split into 2 seasons over 2 years. It was ridiculous. It was and I just remember the fucking wait was it's horrible, the wait between it.
But it is a good feeling.
It was. That had a satisfying ending.
Right.
That's one of the rare shows that had
Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Breaking Bad had a great ending. El Camino comes out.
Yeah, right.
This week.
I think so. Yeah.
By the time you hear it, it'll be the week after. But El Camino comes out this weekend on Netflix. I'm looking forward to that. But again, there's something about shows that earn it. So when HBO does Sopranos and they ended it like that, to me that's a fuck you. Because it's you could get into the deep philosophical, this is what's for Tony Liberty. You know what? That's great. But really want to know what happened to Meadow.
Yeah, right.
Or the kids. The kids were horrible. But I mean, I don't know, just something. I would have been fine with him just sitting on the dock
Of the bay?
Yeah, outside, sitting in this pool and the ducks come in again. And he's just like, I would have preferred someone like that than this lame Journey's playing.
I liked it. I still liked it.
You know what happened too? Do you remember that horrible Hillary Clinton ad that came out?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad.
Oh, I do remember.
It was like her with like Bill sitting in the. This was for the 2008 election,
right? Yeah.
And like one of the guys was from The Sopranos, wasn't it? It was such a.
That was
corny as fuck. But it was funny because it was like shot perfect.
Right. Yeah. Well, I still like it. I mean, I acknowledge it probably has. Legitimate.
It's like people who have Lost is like another thing. I think so. As like shows that have like they've been around, you invest more time into it. It's one thing,
right?
A movie, it's like an hour and 40 minutes. It's a one-off film.
Yeah. What did you think of the ending of American Psycho? Did you find that?
Well, when I was in the theater, I did. I remember, like I said, I seen it like maybe one other time and then watched it again.
Right.
Before we talked about it. I even said, I'm like, what the fuck? How did this happen? So I was like a little disappointed.
Right.
Because I kind of wanted him to be like a psycho.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of wanted him to get caught. I kind of wanted something.
Something, yeah.
Something. But I kind of appreciated the whole, like, how it's on his head. Maybe, or he's getting away with it because the joke is that he is not an individual. He is the same as everyone else.
Right. He's unnoticeable.
He's indistinguishable. Yeah, he lives this great life, but he's no different than anyone else.
Yeah.
He's just like you say, he's a cog, or he's
right.
And he's like, he wants to be an individual, and he's killing all these people to become an individual, and he doesn't get caught in it.
Yeah.
And it says a lot about a lot of things, but the same thing. It's like striving to be an individual, and he's doing anything he can, and he fails at it.
Could shoot a guy on Fifth Avenue and they wouldn't even arrest him. Yeah. Well, it is. It's, I don't know. It is an odd one. So you think he didn't kill anyone?
I don't know. I think that he is insane.
Yep.
Or he definitely suffers from mental problems. And if he didn't do it, he's definitely insane.
Right.
Because he's still visualizing it. He definitely has like some mental disorders.
Yeah. And
the scene, like I said, what?
Oh, the secretary of the book. Yeah.
That is a reliable actress, whatever you call her. Reliable character. You can trust her in the audience. She's revealing something. He is insane. Now, it could be left to interpretation. It is he's just got a wicked mind and imagination when it comes to drawings.
But these were rough drawings.
Or is this this is a confession?
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, again, spoilers, in the Joker, he has a book similar to that. That he carries around with him. Uh-huh. That has like jokes in it but like it's just like crazy writing and
right. Less than zero.
Yeah, less than zero. You how would you say that fits in thematically? Do you think it, or is that just so alien and different from this it's not even worth even?
I think it's certainly like the same world in a sense. I always thought like Less Than Zero, I'd have to see it again because I read it in high school. It was sold to us as like the next Catcher in the Rye, the next J.D. Salinger book. And I thought it was real. I remember loving it when I was in high school. And that's not always a good thing for an adult. You know what I mean? Like, because it may be a juvenile type of thing.
Right.
I didn't think Less Than Zero was trying to make a statement. You know what I mean? Like,
this is about drugs.
It was about drugs and rich kids in Hollywood and feeling all like disaffected. It was like Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And then, so American Psycho, I think, was trying to make a statement. Like more of a political or a cultural statement. I'm not sure what that statement was in particular, but I think that was more.
Like I said, I like you could look at it and say like, oh, it's a critical eye or it's criticism on it, but at the same time, I also do see it as holding it in regard.
Yeah.
And recognizing the power.
Well,
we are still forced to recognize them as the power structure.
Well, and there's no comeuppance. There's no...
Right, he doesn't face any...
Yeah.
He faces no... Which could be also a criticism. You could look at it that way, too, of like, he gets away with it in the end because all those guys gets away with it in the end.
But, man, the book was...
I didn't read the book,
awful.
So.
I mean, it was...
really?
Look, it's a great book. His writing is fantastic, like, very, very good. but the scenes of like graphic torture and were just like unreal.
Oh,
like,
really?
Like,
worse than the movie?
Oh, much.
I wonder
like,
if I think the movie might have been cut to get to a rated R. It might have been even more violent.
That could be. Now I know with the movie, obviously there was a bunch of controversy when it came out. It was, picketed and death threats to the theaters and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
People were like real up
that.
in arms over it, and they tried to like inoculate the film by having a female director, which worked to some extent, but not completely. And then they released at the same time. I think it was called like American Psycho 2000, which was a series of emails ostensibly written by Patrick Bateman.
Is that a book?
It was all online. It was like in 2000 they were starting to do online tie-ins to movies,
websites and everything,
right.
And there was like all the gimmicks that like interactive, like Blair Witch. Definitely was like the starters of that.
And it wasn't, those emails weren't written by Bret Easton Ellis, but he approved them. He said, "Yes, this is what Patrick Bateman would write."
They're like, "We got this." He's like, "Does it say this or this?" Yeah.
All right, you're good. Stamp.
Have my secretary stamp it.
Right.
I'm too busy.
But so there was some stuff like that with it. I don't know. It was a.
I mean, it was a controversial movie. Controversy gets people into the theater. The Joker did the same thing.
Yep.
The thing that like came out about the movie like a couple months ago, there was these rumors that the movie was this incel fantasy, Trump incel fantasy movie that empowers. That's like a me poor white man.
Right.
Like, and I was like, that is not what that movie's about in any way whatsoever. If anything, it is like the polar opposite. It is like a total. Like I said, Reagan era. It's a whole criticism of what's going on now, and especially with Reagan, of cutting social services and like, showing the consequences of cutting those services and how it can lead to chaos in society. And I'm not going to spoil anything else because there's some big ramifications of why something happens because of those services being cut.
Right.
One simple thing. It's like Giuliani letting out all the mental patients in New York City. Same thing in the Reagan era. It's like these things these simple little things, these careless ways to save money or cut or just to do some political bullshit. They do this, and there's major ramifications. Yeah. And I just went on a whole stream and I totally forgot. So Joker had the same thing, and they were like saying like, "Oh, there's gonna be people like theater. You're not allowed to dress like a clown when you go to the movie, and you're not allowed to do this, and we're not going to show it at that theater that in Colorado, the guy killed a bunch of people with Batman, which had because some cop said the guy said he was the Joker when the dude had orange dyed hair and he wanted to kill a bunch of people because that was the most popular movie at the time. Yeah, I don't think it had anything. He wasn't the Joker. He was just some fucking lunatic. Yeah, absolutely. And which makes me the Joker is a lunatic. So but he's also not real.
There's that.
Yeah, but. There was all this, and then I feel like they were also feeding up the fear of the El Paso shooting, and the other shootings that happened recently. And I was like, this is stupid. I mean, it's just a movie. Yeah. And it wasn't, it's violent, and but it's not even as dangerous of a movie. Taxi Driver is way crazy. Oh, much. That movie's 43 years old. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, there's a lot worse.
I just think, I don't trust, I'm starting to get, I don't want to fall into this bullshit anymore. Like Captain Marvel came out, and there was like they were really trolls and stuff going on there. Yes. But I still think a lot of it was propagated by the studio to get to create controversy. Oh yeah, controversy.
I can see that.
Gets people talking about the movie.
Right.
I mean, they know that politics and all that stuff. People get conflicted and it gets people to talk about it. And then you're talking about that. You're not talking about real things.
Right.
I mean, it's a fucking movie. Yeah, it's a movie, and it's so bizarre because I'm like, watch it. I'm like, it's just a movie.
It is.
It's not I mean, I don't know. There was a guy who held up a Popeyes over that chicken sandwich.
Right. Well, I hear it's good.
It's not there. It's still not there.
Well, I think. Look, I think I've been struggling with this in my head ever since I've watched the movie lately. I kind of think Patrick Bateman killed those people. And the system is just so fucked up that it won't acknowledge that he's killed those people. Even that conversation he had with the realtor was real fucked up. When he goes to Paul Allen's apartment and he expects to find a bunch of bodies. And the realtor's like, hey, are you my 2 p.m.? And he's like, no, I'm here for blah. What happened here? And she's like, did you read about it in the Times? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, it wasn't in the Times. I think you should leave. It's all weird, you know?
So, because I'm like watching, I'm like, okay, well, there was like a shit ton of bodies there.
Yeah.
And so, but because real is so important in New York City.
Yeah.
And it's such a big profit making.
Right.
That they would make sure that people would want to sell this apartment, or they would make sure if they walked into there and there were a bunch of bodies, they'd be like, just get rid of them.
Right.
Don't tell anybody.
I think that was it.
No one knows about it because we won't be able to sell this apartment. This is $1 million apartment.
Like, all the people that he's confessing to are also like him, and they're all like, no, dude, we're going to keep this going.
The machine has to keep going.
The realtor, all of them are like,
they are benefiting. The lawyer benefits.
Yeah.
He's obviously like a lawyer on the bad side of things. He's not a lawyer. He's not stopping the evil guy in the court case in the movie.
No, he's not Aaron Brockovich. You know,
he's the opposite.
And like Patrick Bateman's like, hey, I killed these people, to his attorney, and his attorney's like, we got like a good thing going here, Patrick.
Shut up, Patrick.
This isn't funny anymore. Like, I don't know. So I think
that does make sense.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, like, there's such conflicting evidence. I think that's kind of what makes it a great movie, is that it really is something you can talk about, and
it's not just like the movie. I think was sold as just like a horror movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Patrick Bateman's just a crazy Wall Street guy who kills people, and he's nuts. And they show the videos of him, and he's working out weird, having sex weird.
Remember, he's working out to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yep. He's like doing stomach crunches and leather faces,
and he imitates it in the end too.
Yeah.
So I know that's funny.
It's all everything's so fucking up about it.
Right. Most fucked up part is his knowledge of Huey Lewis.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
Very disturbing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see that too. It's just like, I mean, if you're a realtor in New York City and you walked into a plum apartment building in a prime location, there were a bunch of dead bodies in there, they'd probably be like, well, I should probably call the cops.
Tuck them. Get rid of them.
Yeah. You see that New York Times article? What? Never mind.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Get out of here.
The whole system was built to be evil, and of course it's going to produce these monsters like Patrick Bateman.
American Psychos.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mine isn't blown.
Yeah, all right.
So, that's sad.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to have a downer of a movie, no.
Well, I will, and I know I'm going back to it again, but there are like some incredibly funny scenes. The Huey Lewis scene, like you said, is very funny. You know what this was a little bit like, now that I'm thinking about it? And I would love to know if Christian Bale watched this. Vampire's Kiss.
Oh, yeah, there's some elements of that.
Yeah.
Probably, I'm sure.
But when did Vampire's Kiss come out?
86.
Yeah.
It's an 80s.
Right, it's an old movie.
Yeah.
But like, a lot of like Patrick Bateman...
I have to watch that movie.
It's a great one, yeah. It'd be a good Halloween episode.
Like, it's spooky.
But yeah, a lot of Patrick Bateman, when he's like real exaggerated and stuff, like, it is a little Nicolas Cagey specific to Vampire's Kiss. And Vampire's Kiss is another one where you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, is he a vampire?
He has a one-night stand with a lady or something like that, but she might have been a vampire.
Right.
Does he have the holes in his neck? Is that what makes him like think he's...
I think...
Or he thinks he sees them?
Yeah, but then we talked about this a little bit in our Alf episode.
In our Alf... I don't think we had an Alf episode.
It was like Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Icons.
Yes, Icons.
Yeah, okay. So in that movie... I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when... There's the thing that's special about that movie.
Yeah.
Is that's the movie where Nicolas Cage really shows you who Nicolas Cage is.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like the archetype of like all like the like those weird like things he does in movies and like some of the faces he makes and like that's like Patient Zero.
Yes.
Right? Did that come out before or after
Are you going to say Raising
Arizona? Yeah.
I think it came out before. I remember seeing Vampire's Kiss I want to say it was late 80s.
So, yeah, Raising Arizona did come out in 87, same year. Peggy Sue got married in 86. Moonstruck, 87.
Yeah.
Vampire's Kiss is 88.
Vampire's Kiss is like archetypical Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
You know, I also think of like Wild at Heart being. You haven't seen that. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
But like that is like kind of an echo of like Nicolas Cage. But yeah, there's a little Vampire's Kiss in this.
I mean, there's like been movies like this too, like Wall Street.
Sure.
It's a douchebag 80s like Wall Street guy.
Yeah, Bonfire of the Vanities.
Yeah.
Which I actually liked the movie. I thought that was good.
So okay, so we'll end it on this, but okay, so you know how I say like I came to the assumption that this movie celebrates it, and even though like it is supposed to be critical, do you think it's just because how Bret Easton Ellis is now that I think that he's really just a douchebag and like because it's just so funny how like a lot of these guys, and I even see it with like people my age, even just like watch people like Facebook. It's like people. I wonder if they realize when they become old men,
right?
When you're young. Not young like 10.
Sure.
Because you're just like a little pud at that point.
When
you're like in 18,
man,
your early 20s. It's when you really, 17 to like 25, whatever.
Yeah.
It's when you're really becoming yourself and get into different things. And you're kind of rebelling and you're just getting in. And then there's people older than you. And they're like, you don't understand. And, and then you turn 40 and 50, and then you start saying things on Facebook about millennials and SJWs. And does the person not understand the irony in that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, because there's just so much evidence to say that.
Well, it's like the hippies. They always said like the hippies became the yuppies.
Yeah, they did.
But I think maybe the difference is that was a fashion choice, and it was an excuse to do drugs. I don't think a lot of those people who became like these Reagan, they were at the same parties, but they weren't. They were just there to like enjoy the time.
Yeah,
and then they got like
that makes sense. I mean, with your original question, I don't think you can separate the author from the work now. You know what I mean? Like, and
it's not like I don't think he's like this horrible thing, but I see him. He goes on like shows. Like I swore he was on like The Blaze and it's like when you get invited to things like that, they bring you on because you have a message that they want you to.
It resonates with their crowd.
Yeah,
I saw him interviewed on the New York Times. Maybe like a year ago. I think when his last album, when his last
he dropped his last album,
book came out, and he seems like an asshole. So I look back now, again, like if you had asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have sworn American Psycho was a very feminist centric critique of yuppieism or X, Y, or Z. But I think I'm aware enough now so that I have to acknowledge that maybe that's not the case, And
well, it's like I said, you are to recognize the white male power structure.
Yeah, exactly.
And I sound like some SJW.
Well, that's it. I mean, those are the.
Sorry, beta cucks.
Right.
Soy boy.
Yeah.
Tard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I like it. It's funny because since I can't.
I don't hate the movie.
No, I almost now look at it like an intellectual puzzle. Like, did he kill those people or not?
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to think about.
I do like the point you say about how there's a machine going and. Hey man, stop confessing. You're kind of ruining we got a thing going here, buddy.
It's almost like the aliens and They Live, with the human class. Everyone's just like just chill.
Just join us, man. It's cool.
Right? Wasn't there a scene in They Live where
with a guy? Yeah. Well, there's a guy early in the movie, and then you find out he gets co-opted, and he's like, dude, man, they're just here to exploit the world, but if you're good and go along with it, you could have fun with them.
Yeah, he even says basically you're not going to change it.
Yeah,
they're
on different planets. They have a full network. I mean,
Right.
We'll just be one planet that was revealed, and they'll probably just scrub us out because they'll be like, "Oops, I guess Earth's off the picture." But maybe, the world probably ended after that.
But maybe all the people in American Psycho of Patrick Bateman's level are like, "Look, we hear you, Patrick. You killed all those people.
Listen, I raped 6 people the other day. I killed 3 people the other day. I have a strange collection of things. I have, not me."
Right, yes.
Right. Like, man, you could edit this out of context. Like, you could, if we ever come Archie Jones, you could take everything I say. It's like, look what he wrote.
Dear police.
I have a strange collection. What is the strange collection you have?
Yeah.
No, I put my foot in my mouth this time.
Zoinks.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I don't know. It is a good movie. I don't know. It pairs well.
It pairs well with a head on a pipe.
Yeah, it pairs well with
Sauvignon.
If you like Joker, if you like,
I'd say definitely. If you saw the Joker, watch American Psycho.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of parallels between the two of them.
Fight Club's
another good one. There was something else we mentioned. Right?
There was one other one. But there's thematically all these types of movies. I mean, you probably toss in Mr. Robot.
Yeah, Mr. Robot totally fits in. Yep. And that's a series.
Yeah, yep.
I just watched the first episode of season 4.
I know, I haven't yet, but I want to.
It's ending.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad.
Hey,
4 seasons is enough.
Right.
For a show like that. I think anything
Tell
after
your
that,
story
it just gets weirder, and then... sometimes some of those shows, it's they start introducing... It's Law suffered from that, where they only want to do 3 seasons, and it'll be 5, so you get this weird season about time travel, and you're just like, what the fuck did I do? They're like, listen, we gotta fill out. The studio demanded more stuff, so...
But if you like that type of movie thematically or whatever, this is gonna hit that sweet spot for you.
Yeah. If you love dudes in Wall Street killing people, this is your movie.
If you like pina coladas, if you like... All right.
If you have a strange collection of Huey Lewis and Phil Collins,
right?
And also work out to the Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah,
this is your movie.
This is you.
All right. Well, next week we're gonna take a break from movies because it's the Democratic debate.
Yes. Now with 100% more Tulsi. The last debate.
Oh, I want to end it on this. I forgot to bring this up.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so sandwiched back to the Ellen thing. So going back to Twitter. Tulsi tweeted the same bullshit about divisiveness and
But she did it in Russian, which was weird.
Yeah, that was bizarre. I didn't expect that.
Is that the Cyrillic alphabet?
Well, there were people who claim they like her because they think she preaches
rises above,
she preaches no there were people who were disappointed in this because they're like, wait, you say you're against war and this is the guy who put you in those wars that you are basically saying this is the guy who created those wars that we're still fighting, and your whole campaign is
anti-war.
You're the anti-war candidate, or so you claim you are, even though you're really not. It was just more. It was the same bullshit. It's the same message, and man, the blowback on that was
fierce.
Funny.
Yeah.
So I was gonna bring that up, but I got caught up in other nonsense.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about the debate next week.
Yep.
I'm scared of that one. I think there's gonna be 12 people on stage, and it's gonna be on CNN. Mm-hmm. And that's
tough one.
Two bad combination. And Tulsi's going to be there. And it's we're at this stage now where it's I really want to see what the top 5 or 6 candidates have to say. Because Tulsi's not going to get it. You know what? Tom Steyer's not going to get it.
Nope.
Julian Castro's not going to get it. Beto is definitely probably not going to get it at this point. Amy Klobuchar is not going to get it. So can we just get... can we just do the top 6?
Yeah, look,
and then,
I want to hear from Biden, and these aren't I want to vote for them. I'm just saying a good mix.
I want to get their more
Biden, Warren, Harris, Sanders, Buttigieg,
I want Yang. I'm looking forward to the next marketing scheme that Yang has.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Which, it is. That'll be an odd one. But yeah, you toss him in. I want to see basically Warren, Biden, and Sanders, plus a few other smart people with different ideas. You know.
Yeah, and focus on that, and not have clowns in there,
right?
Or people just at this point are not going to get it. And
well, like Harris could move ahead. Look, at this point, I heard this on the radio today. At this point, in previous elections, Hillary was the clear front runner, and Barack Obama wasn't even ranking.
He was always in favor, though.
Yeah,
he was always considered a favorite.
Newt Gingrich was beating the pants off of everyone in the Republican side one year. They listed off like 6 or 7 examples, and you're like,
when Ben Carson was in the top for a second?
Woof. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that next week.
Yes.
Speaking of American psychos.
Right.
Those people in Washington. They're all yuck.
Those swamp critters.
Okay.
All right.
I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGoat, Facebook, YSGoat, and Twitter, YSGoat. Thank you, and have a great day.